It has been over a year since I started the quest to gain as much club head speed as possible by any means possible. And here's what I learned. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. So I'm down here at Oxford Golf Centre. This is where I do the majority of my practice throughout the winter, and I highly recommend it. Mark and the guys down here are awesome. So if you are in the Oxford area, this is the place to come to practice in the night. But club head speed, that has been the quest, that has been the goal. How much have we grown? How have we grown? How quickly have we grown? And what did I do to grow? That's what I want to talk about in this video. 5 things that I have found vital in gaining club head speed. Now, this isn't going to help you find a fairway, nor help your 3 putts or your 4 putts or your shanks or your chipping. This is purely down to club head speed and what I've had to sacrifice to gain that club head speed. Now, it's been a heavy session in the gym and also just power training in the simulator to get as much ball speed as I can. So I don't know how I'm going to be swinging it. I do feel sore, but basically I'm going to go through 100 balls as I normally would, see how we go, see how quickly we can hit it. But the main thing is to just tell you guys basically how I've gained club head speed. So if you want to implement these things into potentially your practice routine to gain that extra club head speed through the winter, then here it is.
So I thought the best way to start this video before I get into my top 5 is let's see where we were a year ago to where we are now. I was averaging 120 in terms of club head speed, so obviously still quite high in the spectrum of club head speed. That being said, we're now averaging about 132, and obviously the goal for this year is 140 so that I can compete heavily in long drive. Number 1, warm up. Warm up is key. That's one thing that will instantly increase your club head speed. If you're one of these players that just gets out the car, onto the tee, couple of practice swings, and then off you go, there's nothing against that. That's how I played the majority of my golf when I started this game. However, you're not going to be swinging it great on the first few holes, and you might be thinking, oh, swinging it great yesterday at 6 o'clock in the evening when the sun was out, and all of a sudden I can't swing at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's 0 degrees. It's because you're not warmed up. You haven't eaten, you haven't got enough energy, the blood flow is not going around your body, and it's whether you're trying to compete in long drive or generally just trying to play golf, warm up is the biggest thing you can do for your game. But this is a sport. Whether you like it or not, this is a sport, and if you want to be good at this game, having your body moving, so A, you're not going to get injured, but B, you can get the full potential out of your swing. So that's why I say warm up's one of the biggest things that I've learned this year, and it's like a marathon with long drive. You need 50-60 balls, I'd say, just slowly ramping up the speed so your body gets used to it. A, because you're not going to get injured, but B, you need to peak at the right times. And if you go too fast in a marathon, you're going to be gassed at the end. And if you don't go fast enough, then obviously you're going to not be hitting good times. So the easiest way I can describe long drive is that it's all about pacing yourself and knowing when to pull the trigger. And the more I've practiced, the more I've obviously got used to that. So these swings here are like my 60% swings. And as you can see, I'm working on new techniques, trying to get that golf club as much around my neck as I possibly can, trying to get my belt buckle as much as I can away from the golf ball as well, which is really important. The one thing I learned from Lee Cox, who obviously a very well-known long drive coach, is X factor isn't really the key ingredient to building club head speed. It's getting that belt buckle as far away as you can from the ball so that you can turn that left hip into the ball as much as you can. So these swings are just warming up, getting used to it, getting used to the flow, and as we go through the progression of this session, I get faster and faster. Number 2, practice swings. And I'm not talking a couple before you're about to hit the ball. I'm talking 6 swings flat out, without a golf ball, without an object, as fast as you physically can. And then hit a couple of golf balls. And then again, it's more of a gym routine, specific training. You don't need any equipment, you just need the driver that you have already. 6 swings as fast as you can, and you should be tired towards the end of those 6 swings. You're trying to use muscles to basically get that head traveling as fast as you possibly can. Now, The majority of people that I teach that want to get faster clubhead speed don't even need to do that much training. They just basically scared of hitting a wayward shot. They always tend to steer the ball. They're scared of it going left, scared of it going right. Whereas I'm saying, swing it as fast as you can, and it's my job to make sure the ball goes straight. Don't worry about whether you hit the ball left or right. It's my job to change things so that ball goes straight. All I want you to do is swing that club as fast as you can within control, with balance. I don't want you to fall over or anything like that. But that's one of my biggest tips. Practice swings as fast as you can, supersets, and then it's just specific training to building clubhead speed. Number 3, and I touched upon this a bit in the start, technique. Now, there are a few things that you can do in your swing to give yourself clubhead speed. The problem is, it's a detriment to obviously accuracy. The more stuff you've got moving, the less likely you're probably going to find the middle of that club face, or the club's going to go on a different path, so on and so forth. For me, all of that's out the window. I don't purely care of how many I hit straight, because I only need one. So, things that can help your clubhead speed: bending that left elbow, moving that belt buckle as much as you can to the right hand side, so that's why you see my left foot coming off the ground. Jumping up and down, so vertical thrust, you see the way I'm jumping up and then coming down into the golf ball. I'll do a lot better demonstration further on. These are the kind of things that help build your clubhead speed. The problem is that's a detriment to your accuracy. So all I'd say is that you can do these things if you're a very consistent player. I would work on these things if you can only hit your driver 150 yards, because your bad shots can't be that bad. If you're already hitting at 250, I wouldn't recommend trying to practice these things, because it's just not going to work out in terms of averages. You're just going to lose too many bad shots around the golf course. That being said, core gym practice, which we'll get on to in a minute, is the bit that's going to help your clubhead speed. But if you struggle for distance, i.e. you can't hit it more than 150 yards, there are compromises in your swing that you can do to help your flexibility issues, or maybe you've had surgery so you physically can't build muscle, or physically can't swing the club fast enough, therefore you need more levers. So technique is a massive thing that I've learned this year to get faster in my swing. Number 4 is gym and nutrition. Now, as you can see, I've got a ladies medium on. This shirt's a bit too small for me now. However, it wasn't, and we've bulked up a bit. And a lot of people do ask me, Simon, has it ruined your golf swing because you've got bigger? No, because I've done so much stretching, I'm more flexible than I ever have been. If you look at my 7-iron swing now, it's basically a pitch shot. So the reason that my accuracy is worse, or I probably wouldn't be able to break 80 around most championship golf courses, is because I don't practice enough anymore. I coach, I do YouTube, see my wife, baby on the way, etc, etc, and gym and eating and this. I mean, it's all about time, and this game takes a lot of time. The problem is with gym, and I think this is the reason that majority of people think gym is bad for your golf swing, is because it takes time out of your practice session. Say you go to the gym for an hour and a half, and then you wake up the next day and you can barely move. That means that you've wasted 4 hours of golf practice that you could be working your pitching or your putting or your bunker play, and in the long run that's going to help your golf. Now, if you've got the luxury of loads of time, i.e. you're a student or a part-time job or retired, I would guarantee you gym will help your golf, purely because, say you can never draw the ball, it's potentially because you're physically not strong enough in your core to get that club on the inside. You might have tried for 30 years and never hit a draw. It's probably because you're not strong enough to do it, rather than the technique. So I would say gym will definitely help your swing, but obviously it's time consuming. And number 5 is equipment. Now, for long drive, it's very difficult, and I've only learned through trial and error. If you want to hit a long ball, you have to spin the ball at 1800. You have to launch it at 14 degrees at whatever clubhead speed, ball speed you produce. Now, if I used a normal driver, 10.5, brand new M5, it's only going to go 300 yards because I'm spinning that bad boy at 4,000. Whereas with this driver, it's 5 degrees. Unfortunately, the tees are a bit too low. But I could get this out 350, 360 because it spins perfect amount at 190 ball speed. If I hit a 190 ball speed with a driver at 10.5 and a stiff flex, it's only going 280. Spin rate, launch is key, and getting the equipment right for you is going to help your drives and going further. So if you know your clubhead speed is 125 but can never break 300, it's because the equipment's just not right for you. And I would more than likely say that you need a lower loft in a driver if you spin the ball too much, rather than the fact of needing newer technology. Spin rate's the killer, and that's the one thing I've learned this year. And I've had to play about with different heads, different manufacturers, and finding that right combination and launching spin can easily gain you 40-50 yards. But obviously you need to go to a place that can do that for you. So guys, there you have it. That's my top 5 ways you can gain distance, and obviously I've gained clubhead speed over the course of 2019. I've got tons to learn. We've made good progress. We've definitely got a lot more work to do, but for the moment we're happy with where we are. Guys, see you later.